with clutter, even digital clutter or physical clutter. When we feel clutter in our space, that clutters our mind. What's good, family? Welcome back. You're checked in with Ameer, Naseer. Before we get started with today's video, family, as always, I wish you all inner wealth, which we know is the overall state of our holistic health, family. So today's video, family, is about the gift of minimalism. So in today's video, I define what minimalism is, and then I'll give examples of 5 areas of our life where we can practice minimalism. And so first, let's go over what exactly is minimalism. Who is considered a minimalist? So minimalism is a philosophy that less is more, and less is truly more. And with that being said, minimalism pretty much encourages us as human beings to focus only on what we need and to reduce and pretty much rid ourselves of any excess external things that we don't necessarily need. And this frees up our time, it frees up our space, it frees up and reduces any mental fog or brain fog. It allows us to create freely, to live more abundantly, and to really start leading lives of purpose. And so it is a lifestyle, it is a way of living, it is a school of thought, it's a philosophy, but it's one that truly is important to understand. And even if one does not adopt this philosophy in their entire life, I think adopting it in different areas of our lives is still important. And so I'll go ahead and start with the number one example. Well, it's not the number one, but the first example I'll provide of where we can practice minimalism in our life, and that will be digital minimalism. So digital minimalism is the idea that we reduce our presence on social media or any digital platforms that we don't necessarily need to be on. So for example, reducing your time on Instagram or TikTok or Threads or Twitter or whatever social platform you're on so that you can free up time for other things. The less time spent on some of these platforms are more times that can be spent doing hobbies that we love, learning about different subjects that we've always been interested in, picking up new skills, learning a new skill, learning a new language, maybe interacting with the community in a new way. Maybe you have found time to volunteer, to mentor the youth, to go learn how to grow your own food, to go learn how to work on your own car, or learn about home economics. And I mean, the list is really expansive, but pretty much digital minimalism, just think about what is your digital presence like, and think about what platforms or social media sites are you on that you can let go of, that you don't necessarily need to be on. Are you on for business? Are you on for personal use? Just really reflect on these things and have a plan and a strategic plan for what platforms you need to be on and what platforms you don't need to be on, so that you can free up your time and also free your mind, of any mental fog, any brain fog. You instill in yourself a peace of mind. You instill in yourself a sense of peace when you are no longer, addicted or dependent on these social platforms, but rather you use them for a greater purpose, which may be your business, which may be what God is calling you to do, which may be you impacting the community in a positive way, or what have you. But pretty much digital minimalism is really reducing our digital footprint, reducing it, only applying our digital footprint to platforms that we need to be on, and then of course removing ourselves from platforms that we don't need to be on, or that there's no clear purpose for us being on. And I'll give an example. So I've already done a video several videos ago about how I quit social media back in 2020. I logged off of all social media platforms, and so I've already done a video on that. And during that time, I wasn't on any social media platforms. So during the time I was thinking about starting my business, I started to identify which platforms that were pretty much necessary or would be useful for my health and wellness business and brand. And so I identified YouTube, and then I identified, initially I did identify Pinterest, and then I identified Instagram, and I was still going back and forth with LinkedIn. And so recently I decided to kind of alter that strategy. So still, of course, on YouTube, I do have an Instagram account for my business. Now I have a TikTok account for my business. I deleted the Pinterest account, and I actually deleted my LinkedIn account. So I deleted the account where I didn't necessarily need to be on. And so I just use myself as an example for you all to reflect on what platforms do you need to be on, identify your why for being on them. Does it make sense? Because the less distractions we have digitally, and especially from a social media perspective, the better off we are as human beings mentally. So that's the first example. An area in our lives where we can practice minimalism is digital minimalism. So do your homework, reflect on your current online presence. Is it harming you mentally, or is it inspiring you mentally? And then just go from there, and the answers are already within you, and you just need to continue to trust in God, trust in yourself, and move forward and protect your peace at all costs. The second area of life where we can practice minimalism is our physical space. So whether you're in an apartment or a home, just think about, are you hoarding any items or any belongings or any material possessions that you don't need? Maybe you have excess papers flying around. Maybe you have excess home decor that you don't plan on using or that you didn't use, or you have anything that's accessing your physical space. Maybe you have additional supplies that you actually don't need anymore. Maybe you have things from years ago that you don't use anymore, and they don't hold any significance in your life anymore. So think about all those things, and pretty much this is a good way to minimize the amount of excess material or physical items that may be cluttering up your physical space. And again, whether it's an apartment or home, it's always a good practice to just do a sweep through, every now and then. So that way, a clean home, a home that you are able to access everything you need when you need it, and really makes room for a sound mind and a clear mind, because we all know that anything with clutter, even digital clutter or physical clutter, when we feel clutter in our space, that clutters our mind. And so it's really important to declutter your digital space. And then, of course, this example that I'm on right now, physical space, so that we can create a sound mind and just really avoid mental fatigue, avoid brain fog, and focus on really the things that we need and that will actually align with our growth moving forward in life. And so I'll move on to the third area of our lives in which we can practice minimalism, and it's our social lives. So less is more, and quality is better than quantity. So in our social lives, who are you around? What kind of people do you invite into your space? Whose space do you invite yourself into? Are there people around you that mean you well? Are there people around you who don't mean you well? Are there people around that, drain your energy? Are there people around you who are pretty much don't align with your core values or where you're going in life? You want to really pay attention to this area of your life, because it is a very cliche but true saying that you are who you hang around. Look at the five people you're closest to. That tells enough about your circumstance and yourself. Also think about, again, where are you going? What are your goals, your objectives, your core values? And are the people you're around, or does your social environment align with where you are now and where you're going. And so if not, then your social environment can hinder you, and that is a reflective point and indication that you may need to minimize who you allow access to you, minimize the amount of, people that you are around on a consistent basis, because it's important on your journey that you are around people who pour into you equally as much as you pour into them, and people that do not add any negativity or toxicity to your life, but just add, an ease of mind, a peace of mind. They add, an organic flow to your evolution, and you are all evolving together. And so this goes for family, friends, romance, etc. You name it. But it's really important to analyze your social environment and assess: are there any people that you need to let go? Who to keep? Because this is going to be very monumental in your growth. You are only going to grow as much as you're around others who are evolving, who are growing as well, who are forward thinking, who are ambitious, and who are, they have good energy, they're positive, and they have a deeper purpose that they're trying to fulfill. So it's important for this area of our lives that you identify those who align with your core values, align with where you're going, and who add unto your life as much as you add unto theirs equally. It should be a mutual, sustainable relationship. And if you've identified anyone who's toxic, anyone who's negative, identified anyone that doesn't serve God or yourself, or people that are just honestly soul suckers, you need to let those people go in love. And I know it may hurt, but some people in your lifetime you have to love from a distance. Some people were only meant to be with you for a season. Some people were meant to teach you a lesson in your own, spiritual journey through this lifetime. And it's okay. I'm not saying it's easy. We all know it's not easy, but self-love and self-discipline, you will learn to let that chapter go, love those people from a distance, and keep moving forward with those who love you and who you also love back, and those who love you for you and see you for you and value you for you. And so again, in terms of our social life, it's really important that you are spectacle and observant about who's taking up time in your space, and likewise, and then vice versa. How much time are you taking up in other people's spaces as well? All right, family. So now moving on to the fourth aspect of our life in which we can practice minimalism, and it's gonna be food. You knew that one was coming. This is a health and wellness. I always, preach inner wealth, the overall state of our holistic health, and I'm always talking about, the importance of nutrition. So food. So food is really important, because what I've learned throughout my years of being plant-based is that less is more, even with food. So we don't need as much food as we think we do. We don't need to eat as many times a day as they teach us from birth. And we really should eat to not only just curb our appetite, but more importantly, just eat to actually maintain and sustain the body's needs in terms of macronutrients, micronutrients, and so on and so forth, and all the other necessary nourishment that our body needs to function at its highest capacity. That truly is the purpose of food, and it should nourish us to health. It should sustain our health. And so overeating, that just leads to unnecessary health issues. It leads to a lot of inflammatory responses from the body. It leads to gut health issues. It leads to becoming, overall, an imbalance with your mind, body, soul, and spirit. And so minimalism regarding our food intake is really important, because it'll allow us to sustain our energy for a longer period of time. And this is regarding both our mental energy and our physical energy and our endurance. And our food intake is extremely important in terms of our productivity as well, and our ability to rest as well. So it has a huge impact on our lives holistically. So again, this is another area of our lives where we can practice minimalism and just remember less is always more. And we don't need as much food intake as, we're taught and brainstormed and indoctrinated with from birth. And remember, the purpose of food is much deeper than just taste. And I know that plays a factor. It has a role in a lot of, cultures across the globe. But scientifically, the purpose of food extends beyond a superficial reason that humans have attached the purpose in eating to food. And so the last example I will give in regards to an area of our lives where we can practice minimalism is our finances. And so this is a really good one because I've definitely been there where I've spent more than I should have on items. I've definitely, definitely. I've been there before. And so in this area of our lives, it's important to really assess, our consumption and purchasing behavior as consumers. Are we purchasing things just to purchase them? Are we purchasing things for the aesthetic? Are we purchasing things for superficial reasons? Do we actually need these things, or do we want these things? Can we wait? Are we buying in cash and on debit? Are we buying on credit when we shouldn't? So, there's a lot of different, questions to pose in regards to how we can practice minimalism regarding our finances. But overall, the point I want to drive in here is, again, less is more. When we focus only on what we need, we create more excess in terms of our financial health. And this excess allows us to save. This excess allows us to invest. This excess allows us to truly use money as a tool to build generational wealth, to be able to invest in things that we're passionate about, to maybe start your own business, bootstrap your own business prior to getting funding. So really focusing on only what we need, and also making different intentional and intelligent choices, choosing to cook more than eating out, choosing to minimize your amount of subscriptions, choosing to cut unnecessary bills, or consistently seek deals on bills to lower them. And there's a lot of other things I could mention, but that was the purpose of this video. It was just to give a quick snapshot of the gift of minimalism, what minimalism is, and then just 5 areas of our lives where we can practice minimalism. And so I hope, again, this video was informative and, served as a, inspiration to just practice minimalism, even if it's not holistically, but at least one of those areas that I discussed today. I know for me personally, I do consider myself a minimalist. I am not a materialistic individual. I do believe truly that less is more, and I truly do focus only on what I need. And I think it's important because once we do that, we find peace within, and it allows us to find excess in all areas of our lives. When we do focus only on what we need, it allows us to maintain a sound mind. It allows us to create from a place of abundance and not scarcity. It allows us to create from a place of creativity and not being drained. And so I truly believe minimalism is something that everyone on earth, every human being on earth can benefit from. And it is a way of living that I will always promote because it is truly, not only revolutionary, but it is just excellent for the mind, body, soul, and spirit. And so again, family, I hope you enjoyed today's video about the gift of minimalism, and I hope to catch you in my next video, which will be about the 9 dimensions of wellness. And so stay tuned for that, family. And again, until next time, I always wish you all inner wealth, which we know is the overall state of our holistic health. Peace.